In this video, we're going to have a look at how do we find the rule of a linear line from two sets of coordinates. So the steps to finding the rule is the same as if we were finding it of a graph. So step 1 is to calculate the gradient. Step 2 is to identify the y-intercept. Step 3 is to substitute those values for the gradient and the y-intercept into the general rule of y equals mx plus c. So let's have a look at an example of how do we calculate the rule from two given coordinates. So in this example, we want to find what is going to be the rule of a linear line that passes through the coordinates -4 and 1 and 2 and -5. Now the first step into finding what the rule is to calculate the gradient. Now to calculate the gradient, I'm going to start off by labeling my two coordinates x1, y1, x2, y2, and I want to proceed then to calculate the gradient by starting off with the formula. So gradient is equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Then go ahead and substitute in my values. So y2 is equal to -5 minus y1 of 1 divided by x2 of 2 minus x1 of -4. So -5 minus 1 is going to be -6 over 2 subtract -4, which is going to become 2 plus 4, so over +6. So my gradient is going to be -6 divided by 6, which is equal to -1. So now that I've calculated my gradient, the next step is to calculate the y-intercept. Now to calculate the y-intercept, I want to write my rule with my gradient that I've just found. So y is going to equal -1x plus c. Now to find the value of c, I need to substitute in a value for x and y into that equation that I've just wrote down. To do that, I need to choose one of my sets of coordinates, and I'm going to choose 2 and -5. So I'm going to work out when x is equal to 2, y is equal to -5, what is c going to equal? So I'm going to write my equation, but this time substituting in those values. So -5 is equal to -1 times 2 plus c. So go ahead and simplify that. So -5 is going to equal -2 plus c. And to work out what my y-intercept is, I want to get c by itself. At the moment, I am adding -2 to c. The opposite of adding -2 is going to be adding +2. So what I do to the right-hand side, I do to the left-hand side. So my equation becomes -5 plus 2 is equal to c. So -5 plus 2 is equal to -3. So my y-intercept is going to equal -3. So now that I've got my gradient and my y-intercept, I can complete my final step and substitute it into the general rule of y equals mx plus c. So substituting in that gradient and y-intercept value is going to be y is equal to -1x plus -3. And I can write that as -x, because I don't need the 1, minus 3. So my rule for a line that passes through the points -4 and 1 and 2 and -5 is y is equal to -x minus 3.